Alright, I got another Tesla Cybertruck accessory to show. These are, as you can see, Molle panels. Okay, this is from Teslaunch. I do have a discount code. I believe it's 10% off. But yeah, the percentage changes every so often. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and put this into the truck bed of the Cybertruck. So let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, so obviously first thing you want to cut the tape. I cut 3 sides so I could open it up. Okay, so here we go. You can see there are 4 little brackets. These mount it to the L tracks. You got this little tool to screw everything into place, and then they have this little instruction thing, and obviously the Molle panel. Okay, so here are the instructions. There's only one side. It tells you what's in there. You have obviously the Molle panel, the 2 things that hold it in place, and then the tool. All right, and then it has all these screws. So first you'd have to take these screws out, get these into place, and then yeah, space it 8 apart. Okay, and then you just drop that on top and put the screws in. Very simple. So let's go ahead and install this. All right, first thing, obviously we're going to take all 4 of these out. You can see these are the screws. We need to remove these so that we can put that on top, but let's go ahead and install these into the bed first. Okay, so we'll grab all 4 of these. Also, don't forget to grab the tool here that it comes with. Okay, and let's go move over to the truck bed. All right, so first things first, we'll take one of these. You want to loosen this a little bit. All right, so just get the tool in and loosen that. Okay, once it's loose enough that you can slide these around, then we should be ready to start. Okay, so get these lined up. You can't put it all the way to the furthest one. You do have to go in by one because this metal piece will go out another half over. Okay, so make sure that you put that in right. Okay, after you do that, you should be able to slide this over. Let me actually get you an underneath view. Okay, so here you can see you want to be able to slide this over. If it doesn't slide over, you're gonna have to loosen it a bit more, but don't loosen it too much, okay? Because you don't want it to come out. Okay, so you can see it's still not sliding over, so we're going to loosen it a bit more, and there we go. Now you can slide it over. You can see these little triangles. You want that to be towards the center of the little screw, so slide the thing over to the middle and then tighten that up. Okay, just like that. You can see now the arrow is pointing at the center of the screw. We're going to do the same thing with the other one. Okay, if it doesn't move over, again, loosen it a bit more until you can slide it. If it doesn't, you'll also actually, you don't want to tighten this all the way. You want this to have a little wiggle room. That way the other one could slide in as well, okay? Because if you loosen it, or sorry, if you tighten it too much, then this one will have issues going in, okay? So we'll loosen this a bit more. And this one's being a little difficult. Let's loosen it more. Come on. See, it's not always easy. Okay, there we go. So now we got that. Again, you want to line them up. We are going to remove these as well. Okay, so these, you want to take them out. There's a little washer as well, so don't lose that. Okay. All right, make sure to keep them together. Gonna remove that. Okay, and we'll remove this one as well. Okay, and keep those washers safe. Okay, so now let's go ahead and bolt this in. Okay, just again line it up centered, tighten that down. Okay, same thing with this one. Center it and tighten it down. All right, if you can't twist very strong, you can go ahead and use the tool this way in the L shape, and then you have more leverage, so you can actually twist it a lot harder. So if you can't twist it that strong this way, you can go ahead and turn it this way and do it. All right, that way you have more leverage. Okay, and there we go. Now this shouldn't be able to wiggle at all. We're gonna go ahead and install the next one. All right, so here you can see I installed the second one. You want to leave 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces in between. Don't count these half ones, okay? So these half ones are where this goes into. So start counting where there's a full circle and then go over 8, then put this into the next slot over. All right, we're gonna do the other 2, and then we'll go ahead and put the Molle panel on top. All right, now that we got all 4 mounted in place, let's go grab the Molle panel. All right, so it's very simple to install. Just line it up and then put in the 8 screws. Okay, there's no front or back, so just get it in there, just like this. Okay. Lift it on, drop it into place, very simple. And then just get the 8 screws in, all right? Line it up, get that in. All right, so there's one. Let me do the rest, and then I'll be back. All right, and there we go. We got it installed. If for some reason the screws on the top aren't lining up, you might have to undo the screws from 1 or 2 of these. That way it can kind of wiggle around to the side. In this case, this one was a little bit too far in, so when I put these screws, I couldn't reach that. So I had to undo the screws underneath lightly, a little bit, just a little enough to move that over. Then I was able to get those screws in and then put those screws back underneath. Right, so here's what it looks like. All right, I believe it said it can handle up to 250 pounds. I weigh like 180 or something, so here you go. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna sit on it, okay, and there you go. It can handle my weight, no problem. Okay, so I actually have 2 of these now, so let me install the second one on top and then you can see how it looks. All right, well, not on top, but right in front of it. Okay, I'll be back. All right, and there you go. Now we have 2 of these both set up, and you have a big enough place where you can actually kind of like lay on it. If you're small enough, you can sleep like this. I don't think I can close this because it will hit me, obviously, but you can see now you can actually have a place to put other stuff. All right, if the stuff is shorter, now you can actually reach over the bed and still grab it because the wall is not like making it all the way down. You'll have the stuff kind of higher up as long as you're tall enough. All right, let me show you from further back. All right, so here you go. That's what it looks like with 2 underneath, or 2 of them set up, and you can actually still use the area underneath. You can lay down in there. I'm gonna see if I put my inflatable air mattress in here, if there's still enough room to have my feet. All right, so let me go do that and I'll be back. While I'm waiting for that to inflate, one thing I forgot to mention, you can leave those tie downs there. All right, as you can see, you still have access to those tie downs. If it's in the way, like if you're trying to put a hook through it and it doesn't fit, obviously you can move them around. And also in between, you want to leave 3 spaces, okay? So 3 full circles in between these Molle panels to have that. There's a very small gap. Let me show you. Okay, so that's all the gap there is. It's not even a full centimeter. And yeah, you just have 3 of those little spaces. So same thing, if you were to put another Molle panel, you would leave 3 full spaces and then you can have 1 more. But if you do that, you wouldn't be able to really put much all the way in there unless it's really long or you have some kind of drawer system. The way I currently have it set up, because I have an extra like cover, I could technically pull the entire rubber floor mat cover out. As long as I don't put anything super heavy in the very back, I should be able to slide the whole thing out. Obviously, there's probably some other solutions. If you want, you can put something that allows it to roll around so it's easier to pull out. Maybe you can throw a whole bunch of marbles in there with like a wooden platform on top or something so it can roll around like a drawer. The only thing is the marbles will fall out when you roll it out, so you need to make some kind of rolling system maybe. That way you can slide things in and out from there on a big platform. Then you can have both layers fully loaded like that. Okay, let me pump this up and I'll be back. All right, so here it is with the mattress inside. I did inflate it quite a bit. Let's see if we can now open this. And yes, we can still open this. Obviously, the weight of this is going to close it, so you do now have to hold that up. Okay, but now we can actually still store everything into the under storage bin. All right, if you put the Molle panel out here, obviously, you're only going to be able to lift it like this much, so don't put the Molle panel all the way out here. You can actually put it maybe like another 3 or 4 circles forward if you really wanted to have it further out here instead of all the way in the back. Okay, but you don't want to put it all the way out because then you can't open the storage underneath all the way and then you'll have a hard time getting things out. Okay, so next thing, obviously, let's see about laying inside. Okay, so I'm gonna get in there. You can use this, and now it's kind of cramped, but it's all right. You can actually get in there, get your feet in, and you can lay in here this way if you really wanted to. So, obviously, I'm not going to close myself in here, but let's go ahead and at least do this. Okay, so I'm not going to close the bed. Obviously, the tailgate will come up till here, but you can see, if you want, you can lay in here, okay? Obviously, it's more cramped now because you can't put your legs up and stuff, but you can still lay down in here. You can turn over slightly. If you turn sideways now, you're kind of hitting this. So maybe if you really wanted to keep laying in here and use these, I would only put one, because this now is going to hit your hips. You can't really roll to your side. So you're going to be basically stuck just laying like this the entire time, which is not going to be fun. All right, if you only have one, then at least you can kind of put your knees up and you can kind of roll over more. But this way, with this, it's kind of in your way. It's not going to be nice. You're just going to be stuck laying here like this the entire time, and yeah, that's going to be kind of uncomfortable. Let's see if I let some of the air out, because I did inflate the mattress pretty full. Okay, so let's try and get a little bit of this air out. Oh, I can't do just a little. It's gonna... So if we make the mattress less filled with air, okay, then obviously it's more squishy, so we probably have more room. Obviously, it also depends how big of a person you are. If you're a kid, obviously, see, I can actually now turn over to the side, although my hip is kind of like right up there. So if you have a blanket, I don't know how well that's going to work, but you can obviously deflate it even more. But you don't want to deflate it too much, because if you start hitting the bed with your hip, it's not going to be comfortable either. So you can get thinner kind of mattress. This one's pretty thick. It's good for cold weather. All right, but this for me is all right. I'm okay with sleeping like this. Okay, and then you still have all that room for storage here. At the very front, you probably have a good 7 to 8 inches up from the very edge here. So depending what you put in there, you'll be able to fit something 7 to 8 inches tall before it can like slide over and fall out into your face. Okay, so there we go. And then if you need to crawl out, obviously you still have access to this emergency thing, and then you have access to the outlets here. So having it this way so that you're laying this way is nice. The only thing with laying this way is if you're in here while the car's going and they accelerate or someone crashes, your head is going straight into the back of the tailgate. So I wouldn't recommend laying in here while the car's moving, all right? Okay, so there we go. It works. It's nice and comfy, all right? You can have both shelves in there. You can still lay in there. And yeah, not really much else to say. I guess if you're small enough, you could technically lay on the top portion up there if you're small enough. I don't know, but yeah, maybe like a little kid, and then when you close this all the way, they can see out the window. Obviously, if you're laying back here, you're not gonna be able to see out the window, but if you were a little kid and you were laying in there, let me show you, you'd be able to see out the window. So okay, so there you go. And then people will be probably looking at your kid like, what are they doing in there? So there you go. Actually, if the tailgate is closed, I don't think you'll be able to see in there. But yeah, if it's colder weather, obviously, then you'll feel the cold air on top of here. But if it's a hot sunny day, this is gonna be very hot. But if you're only using it at night, then obviously you won't have that issue. As for airflow, you could always leave the tailgate slightly open, or not the tailgate, the tonneau cover slightly open. Okay, you don't need to close it all the way. And yeah, it's a pretty good design for camping like that. Okay, and not really much else to say. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hopefully it helped you see how you can use the Cybertruck Obviously you can tie a whole bunch of stuff on there. If you put stuff that you don't want to strap it all down and you just don't want it sliding back, you can tie like something that's like bigger, kind of like a little tailgate of its own, and then that way when things slide around, it'll just hit that tailgate instead of sliding and flying out of off the shelf. Okay, not really much else to say. Hopefully this helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.